Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So, Katie Taylor finally loses. She came in as the challenger to Chantelle Cameron's undisputed super lightweight belts. And yeah, she lost a majority decision. And this was a fight that I got right as far as the prediction's concerned. I said that Cameron would win on points. I did not say that with any great confidence. I was worried that, you might have to really do a number on Katie to even get a draw, but no. When I heard majority decision, I had my doubts. I think Chantelle did as well, but no, they picked the right woman. They picked the right woman. I had it 96-94, 6 rounds to 4, and 2 of the judges had it the same, so no complaints with the judges. The other one had it 95-95, which to me is pushing it, but all right. I couldn't give Katie more than 4 rounds, to be honest. And there is a rematch clause, so they will go again. But yeah, I think that Cameron was just a bit too big and a bit too physically imposing for Katie. But I also think she had some extremely impressive tactics, and all credit to Jamie Moore, who's taken over from Shane McGuigan, who is a far more lauded trainer. But he's done very, very well with Chantelle Cameron, and she seems to be a very good listener, because in the corner, Jamie was giving her advice. She was listening intently. There seems to be a very, very good working relationship, and it's not often you get a fighter who leaves another trainer, someone who really sort of built his or her status, and then they find someone better. I mean, I remember when Andy Lee left. Andy Lee was doing commentary, actually. That's probably why he's popping in my head. But he left Emmanuel Stewart, of course. So after Emmanuel passed away, didn't he? But he then teamed up with Adam Booth, and that seemed to be a good relationship. And it seems that Chantelle and Jamie Moore have really sort of found each other in terms of that chemistry that's correct between a fighter and a trainer, because the tactics were just very, very on point. From the word go, Chantelle came out and grabbed the middle of the ring and was immediately putting pressure on Katie. I mean, straight away, it was really striking how determined she was. She was banging in a very stiff jab. Both girls, orthodox fighters. And Katie, I don't know whether she looked a little bit surprised, but she was having difficulty using that speed, and she was slipping and sliding quite well. But there's no doubt, I mean, the first round I thought was Chantelle's. And after 5 rounds of this constant pressure and Chantelle forcing Katie to fight probably at a pace that she didn't like and in a style that she didn't like, I thought after 5 rounds it was 4-1 up to Chantelle. And of course, these are 10 2-minute rounds, which again, as I keep saying, I hate those 2-minute rounds. I think it should be 12 threes for the women as it is for the men. But Katie had a mountain to climb up. And whenever both girls landed, the one that was having visibly the more effect was Chantelle Cameron. Because Katie would flurry, she'd fire maybe 2s and 3s, very, very fast. But there wasn't much... They didn't seem to be having any kind of effect on Cameron. Whereas when Cameron landed, you could tell Katie didn't like that. And also, Cameron was going to the body as well as constantly imposing herself physically and with her fists on Katie. Katie would have much preferred to be in the middle of the ring, but certainly for the first half, 2/3 of the fight, she just wasn't allowed to be there. Cameron was constantly putting pressure, constantly forcing Katie to move, and Katie would suddenly have to stop and flurry and then move again. But she wasn't firing enough flurries. The consistent, heavier hands, the heavier work, it was, as I always like to say, the water on rock effect. That was coming from Chantelle Cameron, and she just looked like the bigger, stronger, dare I say it, younger fighter. Because Katie is, I think, what's she now, 36, is she now? And if I'm right, Chantelle is 4 years younger, so 32. She did look like Katie. This has been said for quite a while now, but at 36, with all those years of boxing, well, as an amateur, obviously, as well as a pro. The miles on the clock are getting up there now. And she didn't seem to be able to fight, and I use the word fight, not box, for 3 minutes, 2 minutes of each round. And Chantelle, you got the feeling if this was an old 15-rounder, 15-3, Chantelle would have been the one who would still be coming on strong after 15 rounds. Katie did let it all hang out in the final round. She was picking up the pace a bit in the second half of the fight, or so say the last 3 or 4 rounds. And certainly her best round, I thought, was in the final round. Because I don't know whether Chantelle began that round quite well, but then after 20 or 30 seconds, it was all Katie. But it was too little too late. And I thought, please don't rip her off. Please don't rip off this girl from Northampton. You know, she's coming to your backyard. She is the champion. And this is the important thing about Chantelle Cameron. She fought like the challenger. The atmosphere lent itself to her being the challenger. And she fought like that. She was like, you've got the belts. I'm going to tear them off you. That seemed to be the attitude. Whereas Katie didn't have that. She was in her backyard. It was home turf. She fought like someone who was going to, slip and slide and be very slick and pinch rounds maybe. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And I'm glad the judges did the right thing. I think Andy Lee, or was it Alicia Baumgardner, one of them who was commentating, had 96, 94 as well. So I think that's the right area, the right score. Yeah, like I say, I couldn't give more than 4 rounds to Katie Taylor, to be honest with you. But they are going to have a rematch. There's a rematch clause, and Eddie Hearn spoke afterwards, and he said in the autumn they will fight again. I thought, like I say, I picked Cameron to win this fight. I don't see how it can be any different second time around, but you never know. I think Katie's got to be much, much busier, much more slippery, constantly give angles to Cameron, constantly keep her busy and offset her and keep her resetting. And she didn't come close to it today, although she did fight very well in pockets. But Cameron was too big, not only too big and too powerful, too physically strong, but also too good. And again, her tactics were spot on. So what did you think of this fight? Did you have Katie winning, or did you have Chantelle winning? I think it would have been very, very controversial if Katie had won it. Maybe had it a draw. I don't know. You tell me. Leave your comments below. It was a good fight. Decent fight. Not very good for the Irish, though. Gary Cully got knocked out. Katie lost. Dennis Hogan came over from Australia. He's Irish, but he lives in Australia. He lost to JJ Metcalf. That was another one I got right as well. I picked that one. Oh, I did all right this week for the predictions. But anyway, leave your comments below if you've got any. Thanks for subscribing. Subscribe if you're new, and please spread the word about Joe's Son of Boxing, and like the video if you liked it as well. That helps us out. And we will speak again soon. Bye-bye for now.